Okay, I just finished watching episode 11 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End, aka The Elf Show. And especially compared to the last few, this has been a very, very low-key episode. It was essentially two storylines. The first one was finishing up the storyline in the town with some just kind of nice little scenes here and there. There's one with Frieren just kind of saying a prayer for all of Aura's like soldiers, and the Graf recognizing his son and like the family crest on one of the suits of armor. There's this fun little interaction where I don't remember who said it. It was either like I think it was Fern, when Frieren's like, yeah, like, you know, basically like when I was younger, it's like before I met Hibble, like I would have just like blasted the shit out of all these dudes, but he told me not to do that and like to have more respect, so that's something I'm doing. And Stark's like, yeah, I'd be fucking mad too. What the hell's wrong with you? And then Fern's like, you know, Himmel trained you well. Don't say it like that. I mean, I guess you're not wrong, but don't say it like that. I don't like that. Also, kiddos, I'm proud of you. I thought you would have been done a little bit quicker, but I'm proud of you that you were able to kick ass. It's like, I liked a lot of that shit. They stay in town a bit longer because the Graf says, like, look, the people want to be able to celebrate their heroes, and they help clean up the town. I don't know if they gave a date for how long they were there, because with this show, like, they could have been there for a few days, could have been a few weeks, could have been a few months. If they did say, I didn't quite catch it. But as they're on their way to move out, the Graf is telling them that, like, oh yeah, like, if you're going to the north, excuse me, travel is very, very heavily restricted. And you cannot travel unless you have a first-class mage. Which leads to what I think was a really funny interaction, where they're like, oh, well, we've got Frieren. We're fine. Like, she is probably the most powerful mage alive right now. Like, look at what she just did to Aura. And Frieren's like, what do you mean certification? I have no idea what you're talking about. You mean you're an underground mage? Like you're practicing magic illegally? She's like, don't make it sound like I'm a back alley doctor. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with what I'm doing. Here's the problem I have as someone who's been alive a fucking millennium. The rules for what you do to get certified and show that you're able to practice magic and shit, it changes all the time. The rules are never uniform. So I just kind of stopped caring. Like, I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. Like, but the thing that's been in place has been around for half a century. That's it. That's nothing. That's a blink of an eye. Again, like, I always love those little nuggets of dialogue where she's like, yeah, like, that's 50 years. That's fucking nothing to me, dude. Why should I care? But, Fern has already been certified. She's a third-class mage, so either they need to hire someone to, like, either they're going to get a new party member to be first class, or Frieren has to do it herself. They seem to be leaning more toward Frieren's going to do it herself. There's an exam in, what was the name of the town? It's like Arburst? Sounds like Starburst when I say it like that. But, like, there's going to be a town that they're going to. There's going to be an exam for first class mages, which I heard there's, like, a tournament arc. That might be the tournament arc. And I don't know how long the show is going to be. I don't know if it's one core, and if so, we're going to be ending in like an episode or two, or if it's two core, and maybe we'll see this whole examination. I don't know. That seems to be we all know the main plot is we're going to heaven, which, saying it out loud, makes it kind of sound like some Father Pucci shit. But that's the main plot. But the specific goal at the moment is, okay, we need to go here, take this test, and then we can keep going. So the second half of the episode, I mean, maybe it's like third, I don't know the actual time, but like the second storyline is they're trying to travel through the mountains. They don't even make it to the mountains because they get caught in a blizzard. Stark passes out. They're like, oh shit, he might freeze to death. We got to get him somewhere safe. So they find this little cabin. It's not even a cabin in the woods. Well, I mean, no, I guess it is kind of the woods. You just can't tell it's the woods because there's snow everywhere. But they find a little cabin. There's a dude in there named Kraft the Monk, who is also an elf. And Frieren gets to meet a fellow elf like, yo, I thought everyone else was dead. Yo, I also thought everyone else was dead. How are you? And they essentially just kind of hang out with him and wait out the winter, which was 6 months. It seemed like he got along with Fern really well. It seemed like he got along with Stark really well. It was just nice, low-key, and relaxing. Which, it's not like, man, after the last few episodes, we really needed that. But it feels kind of appropriate. Like, as much as I really liked that arc of dealing with Aura and her droogs, this feels more like what Frieren is. Of, like, low-key traveling, self-reflection, and all that good shit. So, like, it's... I liked the other shit. I'm excited whenever we're going to get more of that. But it is also kind of nice to be back at the same time. And there's like this nice little nugget where she's talking to Kraft about the goddess. And he's saying, he's like, yeah, like, I did a lot of what I considered, like, good deeds when I was younger. And all the people who would have been able to remember it have died. I feel like I need the goddess to be real, so there's someone who can still acknowledge what I've done. And when I do eventually die, I can meet the goddess and be praised for all the good I've done in my life. Have you ever been praised, Frieren? Like, do you have anyone that, like, does that for you? And then she has a flashback of talking to Heiter, the priest that she was with, who had the exact same conversation with her. It's like, yeah, like, I've, like, I might not be the best person, but I've done a lot of good in my life, and I'm looking forward to the day that when I meet the goddess, I can be told I've done a good job. And I don't know if anyone's ever told you that, Frieren, but if you want me to, I can do that. And she's just kind of thinking to herself, like, why are all the priests I meet oddballs? But I like them, though. It's pretty alright. And then they say goodbye to him, and that's basically the episode? Yeah, I feel like this one's a lot shorter in terms of my video than they usually are. Oh, a couple other things I wanted to say. I noticed when they were, like, during the Graf storyline, I'm pretty sure I heard bagpipes at one point. I don't know if I've heard bagpipes elsewhere in the show, and I just didn't notice, or I just don't remember because it's been several weeks. And I was like, yo, that's a bagpipe song. That's kind of fucking cool. And then they're in, like, during this montage of them spending time in the town and kind of helping repair and whatnot, there was a vocal track, and I really liked it. It was just really pleasant. Yeah, I think that's about it. Nothing else really to say. It was just a good episode. My understanding, because they're like, man, we got lost before we even got into the mountains. So I'm assuming the next episode is them traveling through the mountains. Maybe it'll be a couple episodes before they get to the town where the certification is. So I'm assuming either the first core will end when they get to the town, and all of that shit will be season 2, or if it is a 2-core anime, it'll be that tournament shit and then whatever else is in the manga, because I have no idea. But good shit. Happy to watch it. Looking forward to it next week. Like I keep saying, when I'm done with it, like when the show is done, I'm gonna pick up the manga. I'll be done with Monster by then, so theoretically there'll be nothing to stop me from reading.